A mansion with 160 rooms, built non-stop for 38 years, staircases that lead nowhere, doors that open to nothing, and one single purpose: to fool the dead. This is the story of the Winchester Mystery House, and you're about to enter. In 1881, Sarah Lockwood Winchester's world collapsed. In just a few months, she buried her newborn daughter, who died of marasmus, and soon after lost her husband, William Wirt Winchester, heir to the largest rifle manufacturer in the United States. Alone, engulfed in deep grief and an oppressive silence, Sarah inherited more than money. She inherited the weight of a fortune built on blood. With every Winchester rifle sold, another life was taken. In wars, murders, and family tragedies. Hundreds, then thousands of deaths. And as the family's wealth grew, so did the sense that something was wrong. Whispers began to spread. The dead were restless, that the souls of those killed by Winchester guns were trapped and hungry for revenge. Haunted by grief and guilt, Sarah began to feel she was no longer alone. Whispers in the halls, knocks on the walls, fleeting shadows lurking nearby. Something was watching. Something wanted to be heard. Desperate, she sought answers. That's when a medium told her, "You are being followed by the souls of those who died because of the fortune you now hold. And there is only one way out. Build and never stop building." Sarah Lockwood Winchester was no ordinary woman. She inherited one of the greatest fortunes in America, born from the Winchester rifle empire. Her husband, William Wirt Winchester, had been the treasurer of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, maker of the guns that won the West. But that fortune came with a price Sarah soon believed wasn't just financial. After the sudden death of her daughter from a mysterious illness, and a few years later, her husband's death from tuberculosis, Sarah sank into deep mourning. Devastated, she turned to spiritualism, a popular practice at the time. During a well-known seance, she reportedly received a message from beyond. The family was cursed by the lives taken by Winchester weapons, and the spirits of those victims wanted revenge. The medium's advice was clear: to escape the wrath of the dead, she must build a house, constantly, a sanctuary in perpetual change to confuse the spirits, a maze that must never be finished. In 1884, Sarah purchased a property in San Jose, California, and there she began a construction project that would last nearly 4 decades. With no fixed architectural plan, no rest, only endless hammering, sawing, and walls that seemed to move as if they were alive. No matter how quiet they tried to be, the mansion's hallways seemed to breathe. Workers reported footsteps when no one was there, knocks from behind locked doors, whispers crawling through the walls at night, and sometimes someone calling out to Sarah even when she was asleep alone. One carpenter abandoned the project after seeing a shadow pass through a solid wall. Another swore a woman's voice whispered blueprints in his ear, even though he was working alone in the attic. Sarah, on the other hand, never seemed afraid, just focused. She walked through the halls with papers in hand, jotting down measurements and new rooms, as if following invisible orders. Some servants claimed she entered a trance during these nightly walks, that she talked to herself, that she conversed with the dead, and the dead responded. Maybe that's why the construction never ended, because she wasn't building by choice, but by command. And those who listened knew that. The corridors of the Winchester mansion are never truly quiet. Even when no one's around, soft footsteps echo, doors slam on their own, and whispers seem to seep from the walls. Sarah believed the souls of the dead walked those halls, the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. That's why she followed a strange routine. At midnight, she would go to the Blue Room, where she claimed to receive instructions from spirits on what to build next. Eyewitnesses say Sarah spoke to herself for hours, and that afterward, she'd scribble down notes that became plans for the most bizarre rooms: overlapping staircases, internal windows, doors that opened to nowhere. According to her, each new space served to confuse the spirits and keep them at bay. And even after her death, reports of unexplained noises persist. Some say Sarah was never truly alone in that house, and maybe she still isn't. There are accounts of guests who stayed just one night at the mansion and swore they'd never return. A journalist visiting in 1909 reported waking up to the sound of furniture being dragged, despite being completely alone. When he stepped into the hallway, he saw a figure cross in front of him and disappear through a wall. Another guest described a motionless shadow at the foot of the bed, silently watching until morning. Housekeepers reported locked doors opening on their own, icy drafts from sealed rooms, and objects moving without explanation. Many quit after just a few weeks, unable to bear the mansion's atmosphere. Some say certain visitors never left, that restless souls found shelter in the endless halls of the mansion, that their footsteps still echo as a warning. The house was built to trap spirits, but it may have trapped more than Sarah ever imagined. Behind seemingly solid walls lie hidden passages, and behind those windowless rooms, no doors, no light, sealed off as if on purpose. Some were found by accident, decades after Sarah's death. Others still appear in old blueprints, but can't be located physically. One room, hidden behind a rotating cabinet, contained nothing but a rocking chair facing the wall. Another, in the attic, had circular scratches on the floor, as if something had been dragged around the same spot over and over. Researchers believe Sarah ordered some rooms built, then sealed them off, maybe to trap specific spirits, or maybe to follow instructions she didn't fully understand. What's certain is, some of these spaces make noise, muffled groans, soft thuds, as if something is still trapped inside, and as if it wants to stay that way. Among all the rooms in the Winchester mansion, one stands out as more feared than curious. A room hidden near the east wing, known by staff as the Room of Whispers. Few dare approach it. Those who do claim to hear murmurs inside the walls, unintelligible voices with a single clear intention: to drive intruders away. Oddly, the room is always colder than the rest of the house, even in the heat of summer. And there are accounts of compasses spinning wildly when placed at the center, as if something inside disturbs the magnetic field. According to an old journal found among Sarah's belongings, she avoided the room. She called it the point of intersection, as if something had been opened there and never closed. Some believe the mansion didn't just attract spirits, it created a rift between dimensions, and in that room, the veil is thinnest. Even now, visitors report chills when passing the door. Some swear they hear their own names whispered in the dark. Others simply refuse to go in, and those who do never stay for long. Among the mansion's many oddities, none is more symbolic than the staircase that climbs straight into the ceiling. No door, no destination, just steps leading to solid wall. Visitors often stop in silence, as if the absurdity of it all reveals something darker. Why build stairs that go nowhere? Historians believe it wasn't a mistake. Sarah Winchester may have ordered structures like this as spiritual traps, confusing paths to mislead the dead, so they'd never find her. This staircase, in particular, was thought to lure in the most persistent entities, trapping them in an endless cycle of climbing without reaching. Over the years, strange accounts have gathered around it. People feel dizzy just stepping on the first steps. Others say they hear footsteps above, knowing full well there's nothing up there. One woman fainted near it. When she awoke, she kept whispering the same phrase, "They're coming down now." In the Winchester mansion, not everything was built for the living, and maybe, on that staircase to nowhere, the dead still walk. During a restoration in the 2000s, workers tore down an old wall and uncovered something that shouldn't have existed. An entire room, no windows, no doors, completely sealed. It wasn't on any blueprint, neither the original nor the ones altered by Sarah. Inside, thick dust had settled for decades. In the center, a fallen chair and an oil lamp long extinguished. But the most disturbing part was on the walls. Dozens of claw marks, as if someone, or something, had tried desperately to escape. There was no sign of an entrance, just the room, locked in time, Since then, staff report a heavy feeling when walking near it. Some hear soft tapping from behind the walls, always in the same rhythm, like a code. Others refuse to work in that wing. Experts believe Sarah had certain rooms sealed to trap entities. But this room, with no name, no function, and no exit, seems to have been forgotten even by the spirits themselves, or maybe hidden on purpose. The Winchester mansion still stands, towering, untouched, a labyrinth of fake doors, bending corridors, and staircases that lead nowhere. Thousands visit every year, but few leave without carrying something with them. A weight, a silence that seems to speak. Caretakers report sudden drops in temperature, compasses going haywire, whispers where no one stands. Some tourists feel sick, others faint. Many have strange dreams in the nights after visiting, always inside the house, even if they're miles away. Sarah Winchester died in 1922, but left behind a riddle. Some say she went mad. Others believe she saw what no one else dared to. Maybe the mansion wasn't just a refuge. Maybe it was a warning, a portal sealed with bricks and fear. Because a house built for the dead will never be just a house, and whoever steps inside never truly leaves alone.